head to south of the border to Estadio Matt Wilson for the Mexico City Aztecs home opener as they take on the Indianapolis Ramblers here in week 3 of season 23 of the SFL. Good evening, folks. I'm Tyler Falk. Happy to have you along with us here tonight. This Saturday evening, I've got some special friends on the stats truck. That's Ramos Lynn and Justin Versailles keeping us up to date through all tonight's games. Cameron and now Hall of Famer Brett Solberg. Brett, welcome into the booth. Congratulations again. What can you tell us about the Aztecs and Ramblers tonight?
This is going to be a very interesting game because Indianapolis has kind of showed us the ups and downs so far of the first couple weeks of the season, whereas Mexico City, really, we've only seen one instance of them, and that was a good showing, a 20-6 win over Louisiana. They've got their first home game. Indianapolis has a lot to prove after the first 2 games. We'll see how these 2 teams match up, but nonetheless, I'm going to see a fantastic matchup between these 2.
Indy in their traditional white tops, maroon bottoms and helmets, and the Aztecs, white bottoms, green jerseys, and black helmets here this evening as Indy will kick us off to begin matters here, as here we go from Estadio at Wilson. And the opening kickoff will be taken in the back of the end zone down for a touchback by Jacob Morrison, and that is where quarterback Jordan Sipe will lead his troops onto the field here as the 12s litter this ecstatic and electrifying stadium. Empty backfield here for Sipe in his second game. After a week 2 bye, an early bye for this Aztecs team, they try and go off immediately with a pass to the right-hand side intended for Anas Adobe, and that falls incomplete. Let's meet the rest of the Aztecs offense. Jordan Sipe is the quarterback with Ray Bentley and Jacob Morrison at tailback. Buford Van Dam is the fullback with Jason Bartley, Noe Terrazas, and Anas Adobe, the wide receivers. Bill Henry, Devontae Richardson are the tight ends with Sitlamina Osalado, Obayanda, and Tlatoani Supremo on the line. The man in the backfield as Sipe rolls and fires across the middle. It is batted up in the air, falls incomplete. Another pass here from Sipe, trying to find Terrazas this time, also finds the turf.
This is kind of what I wanted to see early in this game for Mexico City, surprisingly enough, is to get Jordan Sipe to pass that football a little bit more. Remember, in week 1, he only threw that ball 14 times and let the run game get 43 carries. They're trying to balance that offense.
They're going to be forced to pass here on 3rd long. Sipe will roll to his right, fire across his body, and that is caught. And breaking free from one tackle, but not the second, is Jason Bartley, who picks up 11 at an Aztec first down.
Yeah, it was the Noe Terrazas show in week 1 where he had 121 yards, so it left Jason Bartley just with the 1 catch. But I do expect this pass offense to get a little bit more well-rounded between the 3 receivers, as well as get Bill Henry and Devontae Richardson involved. Good start by getting Bartley involved.
Melodious Manning there on the tackle. We see a whole bunch of corners slot into the free safety role as the running game gets going here. Ray Bentley gets 8 yards. The play was almost nearly taken away in the backfield almost immediately. However, it's the Aztecs marching down the field.
Yeah, you can tell Telemac Scarborough was looking to get to Bentley right after the toss, but missed him by just a couple inches. But he had the wherewithal to get the speed back up, get to Bentley behind him, only get him 8 yards.
Much more heavier set here from the Aztecs offense as Sipe is under center with an offset eye behind him. 9 Ramblers in the defensive box as they try and go up the middle with BVD.
There's the face
Van
mask.
Dam. It's another first down for the Aztecs, and they'll tack on a few more.
Yeah, that was a clear one. You could see the arm coming up from the defender that looked to be coming in, trying to stop Buford Van Dam from that easy first down. But Van Dam is a big body, and he can get those first downs at will.
Antoine Sanders, the free safety, gets his hand up there. We'll introduce you to the rest of the defensive stars for Indianapolis here momentarily as the Aztecs go to work here from midfield. Stiff arm from Bentley as he tries to turn the corner, but is shoved aside by the Lone Star safety, Jack Russell. And let's meet the rest of Russell's defensive teammates. Matt Drain, Robert Charing, and Suron Yates IV, the big signing from Baltimore, are on the line, with Kenneth Gaston Jr., Thomas Matthews, and Telemac Scarborough outside linebackers. Adam Wiseman's the middle linebacker. Jeremy Menafield, Rick Evans, Anthony Weil, Melodious Manning are the corners. And Jack Russell is the lone safety, as we mentioned earlier. That pass to the right-hand side. Hannes Adobe brings that in neatly, 3rd and short.
A very tough catch from Adobe as well on a comeback route. Sipe kind of threw it a little bit low, so he had to bend down and try to, stumble his way to get the catch. Manages to get it, makes it a very manageable 3rd down.
Another 3rd down here for the Aztecs. They try and run outside with Bentley. He picks up the 1st down. Adam Wiseman there to stop him gaining any more. And it's another 1st down on 3rd down.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that this season they're going to be wanting a lot more from Ray Bentley this season. He got 738 in terms of rushing yards last season. They want him to become a top 10 running back in this league again.
Flip out near side for Bentley. This time he gets shuffled backward by Telemac Scarborough.
Yeah, and Scarborough is known to have that pursuit power. We've seen him do it back in the London days when he was a defensive leader with the Knights, and he's doing it here again in this game early on, really jumping that gun on the line.
9th play of the drive now. Blitz coming. Sipe rolls. Throw out middle at the numbers. Incomplete. Devontae Richardson, the big body tight end, couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, and Richardson, through that tail end of season 22, we saw him break out on those streak routes to get catches and big yards for the Aztec offense, and it looks like he's doing the same role in this game early on.
Mexico City has already converted on 2 3rd downs on the drive. This would be a long one. And instead, neat little flip out near side. Bentley shoving defenders, breaking off a big run, and finally steps out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. That's why he is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's Hall of Fame instincts coming in from Ray Bentley. You'll see him basically won against the entire defense, had one defender on him, say goodbye to one defender, just enough space to pass through that 1st down marker, get a couple extra yards, keep this drive alive as well. We're getting on to play 11 of this drive.
And Adam Wiseman's no joke either. He was an all-star, first-time all-star last season, and he's been around the league. He knows how tough Bentley's not able to be brought down. But this time, when you gang tackle Jacob Morris from the backup tailback with Telemac Scarborough leading the way, that's tough sledding.
Now we're starting to see how Mexico City is implementing their running game. Is that they've used Buford Van Dam and Jacob Morrison both up the gut runs, and Ray Bentley has worked that outside really well.
Sipe to throw again. Has time. Pressure from off the edge. Looking end zone. Caught! Touchdown Aztecas! Hannes Adobe with the snag.
And man, that's great patience from Jordan Sipe as well. Didn't worry about the pursuing defender coming in, and man, that is double coverage with a defensive lineman involved in the coverage as well. It looked to be Sean Worthen coming in on coverage. May have been the wrong guy to come in because Adobe still gets the catch, and that's 6 on the board for the Aztecs.
It's a beautiful opening drive. 13 play, 71 yards, ends with an Hannes Adobe 17-yard touchdown reception, and the Aztecs take a 7-0 lead.
And you want to talk about efficiency as well. You go 13 plays, only take 4 minutes off that clock. They might have worked a little bit faster than normal, but 4 minutes, that's a great deal of time to get 6 points.
You were talking about balance, 6 run plays to 7 pass plays, but how will Indianapolis respond? And now being taken down, the return man at the 31. On comes Johnny Pickler. He's always feast or famine. In the week 1 overtime win against Minnesota, he was having a ball, over 70% completion percentage, a couple of touchdown passes, a couple of interceptions in the win. However, last Monday night, not the same story. 42% completion percentage, a touchdown, and 2 big interceptions. And he'll start off the day by handing off to Charlie Baker out of the backfield, who gains 2. And let's introduce you to the rest of that Rambler offense. We, of course, mentioned Johnny Pickler, the quarterback. Tino Sosa and Charlie Baker are the tailbacks. Rob Noel and Joe Harleman at fullback. Rob Hunt, Xavier Knight, Ryan Roosevelt, and Reggio De Niro are the wide receivers, with Anthony Anderson, Jamarcus Candy, Chad Roll, and Jim Hayes, Arlen Merlot, and Johnny Van Man all on the line. And that pass into traffic falls incomplete.
Yeah, and like you stated earlier, the big question coming in for Indianapolis is which version of Johnny Pickler are we going to get? We've seen both sides of the coin from Johnny Pickler through these first 2 weeks, from being uber efficient to being non-efficient at all. So far, 0-2.
Pickler will throw again here on third down. 5-man rush. Pickler tries to hit the crosser. Couldn't do it. Trying to find Mr. Reliable Ryan Roosevelt. The pressure on Roosevelt too much. And it's a quick 3 and out for this Rambler offense.
And I'm not blaming Johnny Pickler. That was a good pass thrown to Roosevelt, and that's just a ill-advised drop from Ryan Roosevelt, a guy who's going to become a multiple-time All-Star. He already is for sure, but he's got to make those catches early in this game.
And the punt is away from Philip DeField. And he does flip DeField all the way to the 26-yard line. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career, or just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. First play from scrimmage after the long drive last time. Tried to fit it into a very tight window. Deflected again by Indy's Melodious Manning. Incomplete.
And you want to talk about Indy's defense getting right back on the field. Basically, Indy's offense said, hey, we'll give you 45 seconds. You got to get back out on the field after that quick 3 and out. And now Mexico City looking to charge with, again, another first down pass.
And they'll try and replicate what they did on the first drive with going another empty backfield look. 4-5-man rush, tries to hit over the middle to Sipe, and he finds his target for a gain of 9. It's the touchdown receiver on Adobe with 9 yards here.
Yeah, already 3 receptions to Adobe's name, another 9-yard catch. His first catch was also a 9-yarder as well on a comeback route. And again, look at that, 3rd and 1. They can open up that playbook, hand that ball to Bentley.
And speaking of the number 9, that was his 9th career touchdown reception just a few moments ago. And here comes Bentley through the middle, charging through defenders. Left, right, and center, but it's Jack Russell who takes him down. Not before the Aztecs move the ball again for another first down.
Yeah, and that's basically a Ray Bentley style kind of run. Try to find your open gaps on the offensive line. Just follow that line, get that first down.
Stretch play near side. Morrison here tries to bounce off a tackler, but is taken down after a pickup of 5.
Yeah, and it looked like that Morrison was trying to follow Supremo, the guard, alongside him, but was just a little bit too fast and tailed off from his lead guard, and it kind of still worked out and got the 5 yards.
Pitch play near side. Bentley
good
got
block.
a great block on the outside. Another first down for the Aztecs.
Yeah, that's Supremo coming in again. Key block. Look at him just stretch out, and that's a key block on a smaller defender, mind you, but still with the pursuant Jack Russell coming in off that strong safety side, trying to get that run support. It's great work from Supremo to get the block, give Bentley that first down.
And give Indy credit. They like to bring down the safety for that extra amount of speed to try and cut off those stretch plays, but it just didn't work that time. Beautiful one-handed catch from Jason Bartley to go 7 yards.
Yeah, and look at Jordan Sipe kind of spreading that ball around. We've seen Adobe and Bartley kind of get some love here, and we've talked about, Noe Terrazas getting a lot of the love last week, so he's returning the favor to the rest of the receivers, saying, I'm sorry I didn't get you enough receptions on that first week.
This seems to be another long drive forming here for Mexico City. As Bentley tries to push the pile, He gets snagged again. His head snapped backwards, and no surprise, Rick Evans
15.
will be tagged with a face mask. That's intentional. Give him 15.
That one was a little bit more aggressive than the last Indy face mask penalty, and we're not going to see a replay out of it, but definitely you could see Ricky Evans coming in and just ripping that face mask, and that's a no-doubter if you're a ref.
That puts the Aztecs just inside the Indy 25. 4-man rush, delayed handoff. Bentley stood up by Scarborough, a loss of 1. That's another tackle for loss for Telemac.
Yeah, and he's basically the guy that I was thinking that Indy was going to bring out coming into this game. It was either going to be Scarborough or it was going to be Adam Wiseman, but Wiseman so far has kind of stayed back and been on that flat coverage so far.
Now leading the team with 3 total TFLs in the season. 2 here tonight as Morrison hits the Aztecs back on schedule, up to 3rd and 4 now.
Nice little stretch run from Morrison, finally getting him, a little bit more positive yardage. He's basically his longest so far in this first quarter. He's been held to a lot of short chunk change runs through this quarter.
Just under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Blitz coming from Indy. Pass toward the end zone. Incomplete. Great timing on the hit by Melodious Manning to jar the ball free. And that brings up 4th down.
And that was a good look from Sipe as well. Terrazas was open. On that left side, there was just a small pocket of space. And that space became instantaneously gone when Melodious Manning just went and decided to go for the man instead of the ball, and it was a good choice.
Chaz Blackwater is already 2-2 this season with a log of 31. This is for the longest on the young season. It is up, and it is good. 10-0. Mexico City Aztecs extend their lead.
And again, at this point, you want to see double-digit points per quarter if you're an offensive fan. And right now, with Mexico City on pace for 40 points in this matchup, it shows that the offense has been working through these first 8.5 minutes.
We've seen very precious little of the Indianapolis offense. They've only had 1 drive, with 3 now. We'll see what they can do on their second drive. Maybe put a good one together as the return by Reggio De Niro goes all the way up to the 30-yard line. So it'll give them good starting field position. We'll see if they can make it amount to something.
Yeah, that's the big thing. They need to have something that's a little bit better than 45 seconds of offensive fashion. They really only got, 2-3 yards out of it? It wasn't a good first drive from this Indy offense. Let's see if they switch things up and go with a pass on first down instead of a run.
Let's see if Chad Rollins dials something up. They'll try and go a run through the middle. Little gain of about 3 yards. Good opening run from the fullback, Rob Noel.
Yeah, decent run so far. You want to get, that 3 to 5 yards to kind of set up your offense for a second down. But again, they're going to go split back, so this is screaming run once again.
One out off the left. It is a delayed handoff. Trying to shake and bake up the middle as Charlie Baker gains a good chunk of yards. Give him about 5. It'll be 3rd and short as we quickly introduce you to the Aztec defense. Skylar Kingsley, Evan Miller, A.K. Jones, and Dad Tritz are the defensive linemen with John Osiris, Holt Ziolina, and John Fuller, linebackers. Gerard Brody, Liam Ryan, Merrick Itera are the corners with Max Jackson and Jeffrey Daggs at safety. 2 Hall of Fame safeties, but it's the linebacking core that gets home at the line of scrimmage. Coming off the edge was John Fowler, and it's 4th and 2, another 3 and out put up by this Aztec defense.
Yeah, and that's going to mean Mexico City is going to get a 3rd possession just before the end of the first quarter. And again, Indy quickly on the offensive side, back on the sidelines.
There will be a return this time by Morrison. Very precious little he could gain out of that. Eason there with the stop. That is where the Aztecs will take over for their 3rd drive of the game, looking to continue this run of form they've had early on in the game, scoring on their first 2 possessions. First a touchdown to Adobe, and second a 36-yard field goal from Chaz Blackwater. 3 wide here for Sipe here on first down, looking right side. He throws it into coverage. It's picked up and coming back the other way. Rick Evans takes it away. Had a couple of interceptions in the loss to Baltimore Monday, and he picks up right where he left off.
Yeah, and Rick Evans has really started to become his own just this season alone. He's usually, the tertiary back behind guys like Menefield and Anthony Wayo and Melodious Manning, but he is starting to show his worth to this Indy defense with a couple key interceptions. And we talk about, big interceptions. He's the only guy with a pick 6 so far in Indy's name.
That was against Baltimore, giving them their first points of the ball game on Monday. As Pickler now throws into coverage. It is hit off the shoulder pad. Lake flag comes in, Let's get the call.
Wow.
Pass interference.
I don't know about that one. I have to see the replay, but it didn't look like John Osiris was really intending to look for a man or a ball at all. Like he was just kind of in the range. I don't know about that call. He's just getting in front of the football more than anything else.
I think just him turning around, it was hard to see with the sea of humanity there and a closer inspection. I think the refs got the right call. Just impeding is probably, if there was a penalty for impeding, that'd probably be it, but they just looped it under pass interference. And so for the first time in the ball game, the Ramblers will go into the red zone here tonight. Pitch play near side, looking for extra blocks from Charlie Baker, gains 3. That'll take us to the end of the quarter, where the Aztecs 10, Indianapolis Ramblers nothing. This is week 3 of the Simulation Football League here on YouTube. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Estadio Matt Wilson, Tyler Falk, alongside my good friend Brett Solberg. And it's 10-0 Aztecs with the Ramblers after an interception from Rick Evans, looking to punch it in for points. It's now 2nd down and 7. High formation behind Pickler. He'll hand off again for Baker, who gets taken down again from behind by the man who stopped him on their last drive, John Fowler.
Yeah, and again, Fowler coming in, trying to stop this run game. And Mexico City's done pretty decent through when they were playing against Louisiana against that run defense as well, only allowing 86 yards on that first game, and they're trying to do the same in this Indy run offense. Spread eye look,
Pickler, end zone, off the arm of his intended receiver, Xavier Knight. It falls incomplete, and Indy will have to settle for a field goal.
You'll see, yeah, it was very close for Xavier Knight to try to grab that football. Maybe was a little bit too worried about his cover man, Jeffrey Daggs, and trying to do too much. But at the end of the day, it's another drop ball by these Indy wide receivers.
Top Kiefer is 4-5 this season, long at 45. Let's see if he can continue his good form. He does, and he puts the first crooked number on the board for Indy. It is now 10-3. They're back within a touchdown.
Yeah, and that's what they needed. They just need to get some points out of this just to, gain some confidence. The offense still isn't clicking as good as they want it to be right now. Still just 15 yards of total offense. But at least they got themselves into a decent position to get that field goal after the interception.
So now, here comes the return for the Aztecs. Good little shifty move from Jeffrey Daggs to pick up extra yards. He'll get all the way up to the 33-yard line before he's corralled. And out comes this Aztec offense once again. Sipe having thrown an interception on the last drive, which turned into a field goal, looking to be a little bit more composed and maybe turn back the clock a little bit. Go back to week 1 where the run game was king here at their home opener.
I mean, right now it's been a truly balanced offense for Mexico City. We're talking about 12 passes, 11 run attempts so far with this offense. Much more balanced than it was week 1.
Offset eye now. Here for Mexico City. They'll try and run with BVD. Buford Van Dam goes nowhere. Adam Wiseman hustles to the ball carrier.
Yeah, it's been Wiseman that's been coming in every now and again. We've seen Telemac Scarborough with an important first quarter defensively for Indianapolis. Now let's see if Wiseman can kind of pick up that pace as well as he starts to pursue.
Another spread look, Sipe underneath, caught near the 40-yard line. First catch of the ball game for Navante Richardson.
Yeah, a lot of these short routes that we're seeing from these Mexico receivers, we've seen a lot of them from Adobe in that first quarter. Now Navante Richardson with a short catch. And again, they're becoming effective. It's third and short situations that Mexico has played very favorable so far.
6 tackles all told for Scarborough today. The pitch play here for Bentley. Nothing but room to run. A stiff arm, and he sprung free down the sideline and ushered out of bounds near the 36-yard line. Another beautifully designed run by this Aztec offense.
Another just Hall of Fame awareness play from Ray Bentley. You'll see things open up just on the right side for Bentley to run through. Rick Evans again trying to get to Bentley to stop him. He gets stiff-armed immediately, and basically Ray Bentley on his own has flipped the field for Mexico City.
21 yards on the run from Ray Bentley. Gets him across midfield and into Indy territory. Just over 8 to play here in the second quarter. Bunch off to Sipes left, delayed handoff up the middle for Morrison, and he was left with a whole bunch of space, and he scampers for 9 yards.
I will say this, how often do you see running backs with no gloves on his hands to make sure that the ball is secured? That's some gutsy playing from Jacob Morrison.
Not even tape, just trust in his own hands, and now the Aztecs go heavy set. Linebackers shifting in the direction they're expecting a run, but there is Bentley again with the arm, the law, and he finally again is so tough to bring down. It's so late in the run, but he gets another good chunk of yards.
And again, you can see the effectiveness of stretching Bentley to the outside, whether it be a stretch run or a toss play. He just uses his speed and agility to get past that first line of defenders, and then the linebackers have to chase him from behind to get those tackles. That's the effectiveness of Ray Bentley through this first half.
Already over 60 yards running on the day, only one passing play on the drive, sixth play of said drive, and they'll spread the field with 5 wide, pass middle to no one in particular.
I'm not sure who is in that vicinity. It almost looked like Bartley on a streak route trying to get to the end zone, but Sipe maybe overthrew him by, I don't know, the borderline between U.S. and Mexico?
Potentially. Maybe El Paso?
Yeah, maybe.
2nd and 10, another bunch look with 4 corners on that bunch off to the far side. They will send a corner blitz. Sipe, end zone.
Oh!
Hit and stern! Touchdown, Aztecas! A beautiful catch!
Man, what a way to introduce yourself to the game, Noe Terrazas. One-on-one with Jermaine Menefield, staying in front of him to give Sipe the opportunity to throw that ball. Again, that overthrow happens, but it was just enough for Terrazas to reach his outstretched arm, all 6'6" of him, to get that catch and into the end zone. That's 2 on the season for Terrazas now.
And that's our nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K 23. A phenomenal leaping one-armed snag to get the Aztecs a 14-point lead. We are back underway here in Mexico City as the return is taken out of the end zone by Xavier Knight, and he is taken down. Another flag. We've seen nothing but yellow hankies all over the field tonight.
Yeah, and so far they've all been against Indianapolis as well, so this one's going to be clipping. That's going to push them back to the 14-yard line, and it's not a position that Indy wants to be at this stage of game, down 17.
Let's take a look at the play again, and unfortunately, that's yet another
That's
penalty.
egregious.
And that's on Melodious Manning.
That's frustration epitomized just in that play alone.
And it's still early, just under 13 minutes gone of this game. Still plenty of football left to go, and it's still early in the season. Can't be hurting your team like that.
Not at all.
See how the offense recovers. As they start on the ground, they try to go up the middle with Rob Noel, who gains 3.
Yeah, and again, Noel doing his job. He's getting the yards necessary to push Indianapolis forward, but it's been a lot of first down push, and then they can't get any yards on 2nd, 3rd, or 4th.
I like the term that Justin Raside from our stats truck just yelled out about yellow hankies all over the field. It's a flag.
Uh-oh.
The ball is loose.
Oh, my goodness.
Recover, and it's going to be and score for John Fowler.
Man, and if you want to have a worse moment right now for Indianapolis, you want to talk about fumbling inside your own 20-yard line, giving Harleman the football for, I believe, just his 5th carry in his 3rd game, and it was just jarred loose. Right time, right place for Fowler as well to scoop and score, and just like that, it's starting to get a little bit wild at the Estadio Matt Wilson.
First career touchdown for John Fowler. And the Aztecs are breaking this game wide open. 24-3 now your score. And we're not even to the halfway point in the second quarter. Which brings me to, I introduced it last week, partner. I introduced Tyler's trivia last week. But I'm bringing it back again because I want to know if everybody else in SFL Nation knows, when was the last time that the Mexico City Aztecs won their home opener? What season was the last win at home for a home opener for the Mexico City Aztecs? Answer will be given to you in the third quarter, but for now, it's 24-3 here in season 23.
Yeah, it's time to reset for Indianapolis, but back out on the field, we have to give credit to this Mexico City defense. And a good point that was made to us by Ramos Lynn. That's the third forced fumble by Jeffrey Daggs this season, and we're already in his second game.
That's Roosevelt with a nice catch. And he says, I saw Terrazas do that. I can do that too and gain 16.
Yeah, no more pretty games, I think, for Indianapolis. They're going to start throwing this football a little bit more now. That's starting to become a little bit ridiculous with the score in Indy's mind. They're going to start tossing that football, and right now, the Pickler to Roosevelt connection needs to happen more often.
Nick a look out of the Aztec defense. Another delayed handoff up the middle for Baker, who gains 6 yards.
Yeah, and that's been his best run through this first half so far. It's just been a delayed handoff straight up the middle for 6 yards, and it's good field position. It's good position afterwards for Indianapolis on the second down. Now it's second and short.
Take a look at it again. I mean, in the week 1 win, Jeffrey forced 2 of the fumbles, and he forced another one here. And we were talking with Ramos Lynn, that's another beautiful tackle from this Mexico City defense, John Osiris, about what's the record for forced fumbles in a single game. And Ramos just says it probably was 2 again, also set by Max Jackson in both of them are combined here this season in the safety room. And so here on third down, Bickler's going to have to try and locate the run.
Man.
And he gets a run, but his throw to the turf. Evan Miller says nighty-night. And it's another 3 and out forced by this Aztec defense.
Man, they brought a lot of heavy hitters to get to Johnny Pickler. I think there's 2 linebackers in pursuit as well. I think Fowler was trying to get to him, just missed the sack. It gave Miller enough time to get to him. And all those yards that Indy gained from Charlie Baker is immediately lost on 2 plays.
And how about that for Evan Miller? That's the team's first sack of the season. And that'll get them the ball back after this punt. Gets it all the way up to the 34-yard line. Does Jacob Morrison. And now this Mexico City offense, they really can start to play without any stress if they continue to play their game. And if you're Indianapolis, you've got to force some 3 outs of yourself. Otherwise, this game's going to get ugly and get ugly quick.
Yeah, they've forced 1 interception so far to end the drive early, but after that, we've seen 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes, and 2 minutes from this Mexico City drives.
It's a good opening run for 4 yards by Ray Bentley, who again is having a phenomenal day already, closing in on the 80-yard mark.
Yeah, and it's been mostly Ray Bentley's ability to break open these runs that have continued Mexico City drives.
Late handoff, and taking a defender with them is Morrison for another good gain of about 4 again.
Yeah, Thomas Matthews, he had Morrison dead to rights right at the line of scrimmage, but Morrison, he's got some sneaky strength under those legs of his, and he pushes to get a couple yards.
They'd like to run a stretch play to the near side. It's another pitch. Can they stop it this time? No. Bentley bulldozes through Adam Weisman for the first down.
Yeah, and now Mexico City's starting, play their type of game. They like running that football. Give Bentley, Morrison, and Van Dam their carries. Get Jordan Sipe a little bit more confident as he throws that football maybe a couple times per drive, but it's mostly the run game that Mexico City wants to play.
Late handoff, Morrison. This time he is stood up on the logo by Weisman.
And Indy has to figure out that what Mexico City is doing is pretty simple so far. Ray Bentley stretching it out. Jacob Morrison's going up the gut.
And Bentley will dot the I here. Another heavy look out of this Aztec offense. 9 in the box to try and counter the onslaught they are facing. And they're trying to get in the backfield, and they gang tackle Bentley after another medium-sized pickup. But the key thing from Ramos Lynn telling us in the pregame was if they stay on schedule, they will be tough to stop, and they're proving it here.
Yeah, and you can see just from the scoreline alone, but this is a big test here for Indianapolis. 3rd and 4, they're creeping up into field goal territory for Chaz Blackwater. They need to stop him here.
Very wide. Delayed handoff on 3rd down, and Morrison got held up, which gave the Indy defense, Telemac Scarborough, enough time to get to the backfield, and that's a punt that Indy sorely needs.
Yeah, and that play all started by the rush attack of Adam Wiseman to basically plug up that gap that Bentley wanted to make, so he had to turn, and he found Scarborough behind the line of scrimmage.
And it's a nice punt. That goes out of the back of the end zone, back for a touchback. Hale Barrett Jr. sends that one away, and so Indy will start this next possession 9 seconds before the 2-minute warning from their own 20.
Yeah, and this drive is pretty simple. They need to figure out how this offense is going to move forward. We have not seen them move much forward. Now, just in the first half, 29 yards of offense. That's not an SFL caliber offense.
It's not a recipe for success, and these runs by the fullbacks. Joe Harleman in his first carry tried to get something going, maybe kickstart something. Only 2 yards. We hit the 2-minute warning, and Indy needs to get their gears in order and needs to be firing all cylinders, because right now they're down by 21. Two minutes to play here in the first half. Indy with the football, desperately in need of points. They'll try and hand off again. Inside of 2 minutes now with Charlie Baker, and that's a much better run on second than it was on first.
Yeah, and there was a lot of hopes, especially from the coaching staff, that Indy could maybe, shake off the offensive woes that Indianapolis had last week against Baltimore, with Johnny Pickler only throwing for 116 yards. But we're seeing a lot of, tough moments for Indy here.
Roll out, downfield screen. That's a beautiful play by Joel Harleman and this Indianapolis crew. That will get him on the other side of midfield.
Man, that's been the first huge play from Indy as well, and that's just a simple screen, basically pushing the receivers out far enough, with Harleman kind of being that slip screen option, and it was all about trying to find open holes for Harleman to run, and that's big for this Indy offense.
Largest gain of the night for Indy. That doubled their total offensive production in just one play. And it'll be play action, a fullback play action. Pass middle, overshooting his intended target is quarterback Johnny Pickler.
Yeah, that's a scary route as well, because guess who was in that vicinity, and it was almost in the hands of Jeffrey Daggs, who is, dangerous in his own right and any part of the defense. So that is a dangerous overthrow from Pickler.
Already getting that new 4K23 era record here in the SFL with 3 forced fumbles in just 2 games played. Pass over the left-hand side behind the defense.
Reggio!
That's not what Mexico City needed, but it certainly is for Indianapolis. Touchdown, Reggio Dinero. Touchdown, Ramblers.
Man, and you talk about safety valves. For any offense, Dinero has been that safety valve through the first 3 games for this Indy offense. 3 touchdowns now to his name, and anytime that they needed, a moment to get points back on the board, they've looked at Reggio Dinero, and that's what they did there to get a big touchdown.
Only the 3rd completed pass from Johnny Pickler. He completes 2 on the drive, and he gets them in for 6 points, make it 7, and Indianapolis shows some life before the end of the half.
Man, that's huge as well. That's got to be momentum swinging a little bit their way with a minute left in this second quarter. Unless Mexico City can find a way to get points out of this last minute, it really does great things for Indy's confidence.
Jags here on the return, and he is taken down at the 33-yard line. And so, Aztecs, who will have to kick the ball away to begin the second half, now you're still up with 14. Indy just came down the field and scored a touchdown. Do you play aggressive or do you play it safe here, Brett Solberg?
Yeah, it's all about how confident you feel as an offense. If I feel confident enough, I go with that aggressiveness, and you can see it here. No running back in the backfield. They're going to look to pass. I'd key in on Ray Bentley, who's on that right side slot.
And Indy playing like they're expecting pass, and it's into double coverage. Incomplete. Looking for the lone receiver on that side of the ball. Unable to find him.
Yeah, just the wrong side to throw the football if you're Jordan Sipe. You have 3 receivers eligible on the right side. You go on the left side where there was a double coverage in a zone, and it just did not work out.
Now it's an offside eye look here from Mexico City. Wide receiver motions over, quick, closely guarded by Rick Evans. Looks like it's a man look here for Indy, and they're going to try and stop this rushing attack from Bentley at the line of scrimmage, and they do by Jack Russell. Clock will roll. Indy not calling a timeout.
Yeah, I think both teams are kind of settling in to the end of this second quarter so they can get themselves back into their locker rooms, talk about some second half adjustments. But again, Mexico City on third down, bringing 5 receivers, and they're going to shift again, this time to Razas, and now Bentley's going to be the lone receiver on the right side.
They go run on second down, pass on first, looking to pass on third. Sipe, deep shot, into coverage, batted away. Melodious Manning again with 16 seconds, and Indy have all 3 timeouts.
And again, you see that deep option? It was Navonte Richardson. That's what they've been using him for over the last, I would say, couple weeks of last season, as well as the first game against Louisiana, and looking for them deep. And Indy has read that book very well so far.
Cale Barrett Jr. will boot this one away. Had a beautiful punt that just hit the back of the end zone last time. This one equally as good all the way to the 20. It's going to be a black in the back call, and Xavier Knight is taken down near the 35. They'll push him back probably to inside the 20-yard line. And so it's either go for it all or just kneel it out, in my opinion.
Yeah, right at the 20-yard line, they're going to assess that clip to. That's going to be on one of the receivers playing special teams. Unfortunately, and I'm on the same boat as you with this one, Tyler. I would just kneel it out or maybe just run this football, see what Charlie Baker can get you out of this situation, and then just head to your locker room to adjust in the second half.
They do get the ball to start the second half, but it looks like Pickler is going to pass up a prayer. Tight coverage. Pickler unloads. It's caught at the 43 and rolling forward is Rob Hunt, taken down well shy of the end zone. But that does mean Pickler ends the half with 3 consecutive pass completions and a little bit of hope. Spinning out, sprouting from the ground here at Estadio Matt Wilson for these Ramblers. It does see them down 14 points as we end the half, 24-10. Aztecs out in front. Brett, let's walk through a very chaotic end to that half of football.
Yeah, and it started off with Mexico City really dictating the pace of play throughout this one. First quarter saw 7.5 minutes of Mexico City offense, whereas we started that second quarter, that's when we started to see a little bit of craziness. 32-yard field goal after an interception from Indy, followed by Mexico City trotting down the field, another 2 minutes, 7-play drive. Then we saw a scoop and score from John Fowler to really break things open. And then it started to quiet down a little bit before Indianapolis started to find their offense. And it's been that pass game, like you said, that started to wake up a little bit. A big Regio Dinero touchdown to bring things to 24-10. And really, the momentum is starting to swing Indy's side. So if they can get those second half adjustments right, they're going to get back in this game. If not, Mexico City's going to dominate.
Players going to break in half, and so are we. This break presented by Brakes GPT.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
And Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
Break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Breaks GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Breaks GPT offers you the shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on our Breaks GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on our site, Breaks GPT. Welcome back to Estadio Matt Wilson, Tyler Falk, and Brett Solberg in the booth. Special thanks to Justin Reside and Ramos Lynn in the stats truck, and of course our commissioner is our producer, Mr. Cameron Irvine. A look at the halftime stats there. Mexico City clearly leading the way, not just in terms of yards, but what's not shown there is time of possession. And they'll have to try and defend that as they come out on defense. Pickler will look to throw, passing middle, and Hunt nearly had that, but the hit jars the ball free by Gerard Brody.
And again, another good look from Johnny Pickler, and that's really been the story a lot with some of Pickler's incompletions. They're good looks. They're to the right guys. We've seen a couple drops out of it, but this time it was just jarred loose perfectly by Brody.
Flip backfield here for Pickler. Quick drop now, takes a few more steps and finds Roosevelt on the quick slant over the middle. That picks up a Rambler first down.
Yeah, just one reception on 4 targets in the first half for Roosevelt, and he's usually the big money player on Indy, so they're going to try to look for that Pickler to Roosevelt connection as much as they can in this second half.
So already on just a couple plays here to begin the half, they've already equaled their total amount of yards they put up in the first quarter, which was only 13 yards. Second quarter is when Indy really kicked into gear. Now can Pickler continue it? Stepping back, unloading. Somehow to the
wow!
And Rob Hunt hunting for the end zone with a few defenders on his tail. He's taken down to the 16-yard line.
Somehow is right. It looked like the pass was deflected in midair, and we might see this on the replay, but Rob Hunt stays ahead, keeps the route going, and it goes right his way. Yeah, right in and out of the hands of John Fowler as well. That is just unlucky from Fowler that it just deflects off his hands and into the breadbasket of Hunt.
How about this for Indy, already at the 16-yard line? On just the 4th play from scrimmage here in the second half. Pickler to pass again, looking left side, caught behind the defense, 1st and goal Indy, and that is something Ramos Lynn was telling us, is that they don't want this dangerous wide receiving core getting behind them.
Yeah, and we're starting to see it now, is that even with Roosevelt getting behind 3 defenders, you see Merrick Itera, Liam Ryan, and Jeffrey Daggs all in the area of Roosevelt, but it still goes into the hands of a white and red jersey.
1st and goal for the Ramblers. 2 wide receivers left, offset eye behind Pickler. They will try and run, but nothing doing. A beautiful tackle from Osiris, gets into the backfield for a loss of 2.
Yeah, and it's been the John Fowler show on defense. Now been a part of 8 tackles in this game, and now his 2nd tackle for loss. He has been the bright sign in Mexico's defense.
Another run through the middle, pushing 3 defenders was Joel Harleman. 3rd and goal.
And Harleman has that strength, despite being what many people think an undersized fullback at 6 feet 220. He still pushes that line through to get to the 2.
Linebackers expecting a run up the middle as they shift in that direction. Tight end in motion. 3rd and goal here for Indianapolis. Can they punch it in for 6? And it's a Pickler run, and Pickler keeps, and it's a 13-point run for Indianapolis.
You have to love the quarterback sneak no matter what fan of football you love. You would love to see that quarterback sneak come in, and nobody does it better than Johnny Pickler. 6 on the board for Indy. This is a football game, Tyler.
In the blink of an eye, the Ramblers roar back into this one. And the extra point is up and good. A 21-point lead has now been nearly erased.
Just a 7-point deficit in a game that looked lost from, a certain point in the second quarter. Remember, it was 24-3 at this point, 14 unanswered from the Rambler offense.
Deep kickoff will be taken back for a knee by Morrison. And so the Aztecs now, who looked pretty comfortable midway through the second quarter, now it seems there might be some chinks in that armor. They went touchdown, field goal, and since then that offense, it's been interception, field goal, punt. Let's see what they do here to begin the half. Sight underneath, incomplete. Looking for Terrazas.
And it just feels like there's a renewed sense of energy from the Indy defense. Just from this play alone, the defensive line jumped right at the snap, trying to get to Sipe, and then that hit right away on the catch as well from Anthony Waya was big.
2nd and 10 here for the Aztecs. Delayed handoff for Bentley with room. He gains 9 as Wiseman tried to turn the Hall of Famer inside out.
Yeah, and that's the big key for Indy's defense throughout this second half is going to be how they're going to stop Ray Bentley. He's got 85 to his name. I would argue he's got 98 on 14 carries. They're missing a carry on the stat sheet here, but nonetheless, they got to find a way. That's a first down for Buford Van Dam.
Damn Van Dam as he picks up the first down after a gain of 4.
Damn Van Dam, where'd you find those white vans? Trying to get to that first down marker, and he does pretty quickly.
I almost got to tell, we got to tell Ramos, who's doing stats for us, got to have him wearing white shoes because that just makes so much sense now. As Sipe underneath on the little delayed arrow route gains 1 yard for the Aztecs.
Yeah, and right to Jason Bartley on that arrow route. Really not finding his targets. Indy doing good on the other side of the field to really stop Sipe from looking that direction. Only gained a yard out of it.
Mexico City trying to slow things down here as they saunter back to the line. Pitch play right side. Morrison, nothing doing. Kenneth Gaston Jr. tackles the tailback behind the line.
Yeah, not a lot of credit so far has gone to the defensive line of Indianapolis on that play. They shored up everyone they could so Gaston could get to the runner.
11th third down of the ball game. Mexico City pass again, caught again. Hannes Adobe, they are now 8 of 11 on third downs tonight.
Yeah, and it's just been uber efficiency from the Mexico City offense. Just a one-on-one with Menefield, and Adobe breaks open just enough for Sipe to sling that ball his way. He hauls it in, and again, moving the chains on third down have been vital for Mexico City's offense.
Just about halfway through this third quarter, this very fast-moving third quarter, if I do say so myself. Pitch play, good blocking. Bentley cuts it back and gets out into the midfield to the logo, and we send it back for the first time this season to SFL headquarters. Cam and Irvine is a game break for us. Cam?
Thank you, Tyler. All Lexington in the first half against Motor City. It's not Gabriel Manning, it's DJ Bandit. 8 catches, 2 touchdowns. Motor City has not completed a pass in the first half, and Lexington leads 20-3. Back to you in Mexico.
Thank you, Cam. The wheels keep on turning on this running game for the Aztecs. First down pickup. This time it's Morrison who gets the blocking help.
And again, it's good work from the offensive line of Mexico City. This time it's going to be Jonathan Goodwin on the right side to stop Gaston Jr. from getting to Morrison, giving him a chance to get that first down.
This might help calm the nerves for the Aztecs. This long drive continues. Another run. Bentley fighting off his own blockers and defenders. Gains another 5 yards. 2nd and 5.
Yeah, and again, going back to those third down conversions, you have to remember that in the Louisiana game, Mexico City was 62% on their third down conversion. So it's just business as usual for the Mexico City offense.
10 men in the box here against this heavy set, and they can get to him in the backfield. But both Morrison and Bentley and Dam just keep on turning and churning to get forward.
Man, it's a struggle for Indy to try to get to these running backs, and it's resulted in nearly 150 yards of rushing offense between those three men alone.
Again, 10 more in the backfield. Bentley tries to strike the play. Another stiff arm, but again, it's Gaston Jr. who takes him down, forcing a fourth down, maybe just outside of Blackwater range. This could result in a punt, and this could spell a beautiful opportunity for the Ramblers.
What's that song from Beauty and the Beast? No one hits like Gaston, no one shifts like Gaston, no one's arms are as incredibly thick as Gaston.
Something like that. He's putting it to good use
Ooh.
as Junior, and that's a brilliant punt from Cale Barrett Jr. to cough him inside the 10-yard line. Now, I did ask in the second quarter, when was the last time that the Mexico City Aztecs won at home? Brett, you got a guess?
I was going to say season 18.
You're just a season off. Season 19 was the last time the Aztecs won. It broke a 7 consecutive season streak of them not winning a home opener, and they're on one right now, looking to win for the first time since season 19. John Osiris takes down the tailback after a gain of 1.
Yeah, and the big key, now that you're pinned deep, India's got to find a way. They got the crucial stop that they needed. Force Mexico City to punt. Now's your chance to tie this game when it looked like it wasn't going to be possible halfway through the second quarter.
Eckler's hands off to his tailback who hurdles a defender and is finally brought down by Fowler. 3rd and 2 now for the Ramblers.
First time tonight we've seen Tino Sosa come in with the run as well. So they're starting to spread that run game with a little bit more love than just Charlie Baker and Joel Harleman.
Catch play near side. It's going to be a first down. Can he turn the corner? No. But Baker does pick up the first down yardage needed.
Yeah, and that's basically what Indy needs, is that they just need to move the chains, almost give Mexico City a taste of their own medicine from the first quarter. Extend that drive as long as you can. Get this deep into the fourth quarter to tie the game.
Offset I 3 wide here for Pickler. Late handoff through the middle. Sosa, nothing doing. Cyrus there on the stop.
Yeah, and the linebacking core for Mexico City has really stepped up throughout this game. We talked about John Fowler, to ad nauseum, but John Osiris has really become, a guy to really key on in the second half. He's now up to 6 tackles.
Pickler with plenty of time. Passes middle, nearly taken away. Deflected by Brody.
Max Jackson, Jeffrey Deggs, Gerard Brody, all in that vicinity. I know Pickler wants to get himself, moving forward as quickly as you can, but sometimes, the small plays work as well to get first downs.
And now they'll have to try and get another big chunk of yards. They need 10 here on 3rd down.
Trips bunch to the left.
Pickler rolling, looking left side. It's tipped up in the air, and this time they cannot come down with it. Another heads-up play, this time from Joseph Jefferson, as Pickler was trying to locate De Niro, and Indy will have to pump this one away.
And again, Pickler looking for that deep play, and I respect going to Reggie De Niro in a situation like that, but sometimes the shorter route works. See if you can get that one-on-one battle against Ryan Roosevelt. Those can get you those yards.
8 first downs gained here for the Ramblers. However, only 3 of them of their 8 third downs have come on 3rd downs. 3 of 8 on 3rd down. If we're having trouble navigating the maze of words in which I just said. However, how many likes do we have on this video? It's not enough. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you got notifications on so you won't miss a minute of SFL and SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Blitz coming, pitch out to Bentley, who gets on a 1, but the heavy hitters come in and take down Ray.
Yeah, first time that we've kind of seen that defensive line really play a part in that tackling game. They've done well to shore up the offensive line, to give their linebackers a chance, but I do want to see a little bit more effort, at least from these nose tackles, and Robert Cherry and Saron Yates. They have been quiet tonight.
It's coming from the linebackers. However, Sipe is able to hit the crossing route. And another first down for Hannes Adobe.
Yeah, and that's just wide open look for Sipe. You can't have an easier look than to Hannes Adobe on that crossing route. You can see between the two receivers, which kind of left that back defender a little bit confused as to who to cover, which left Adobe open.
Left him on an island, as they would say. 5 wide here on first down. Here for Sipe, looking to throw. Deep shot, middle, one-handed, nonchalant snag from Hannes Adobe. That's first down and plenty more.
Yeah, it's starting to become the Hannes Adobe show at this point. 6th reception, which is, half as much as the completions that Sipe has made so far out of his 22 catches. It's been Hannes Adobe in his third quarter.
And that'll bring it to an end here in quarter number 3. Get your 4s, 86s, 68s, and of course 12s up in chat. This is the SFL on YouTube. Stand by for station.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Welcome back to Estadio Matt Wilson here in Mexico City, Mexico. I'm Tyler Falk alongside Brett Solberg in the booth with you. Thank you for joining us here this Saturday evening. A doubleheader here in week 3 of the Simulation Football League. Ray Bentley has been the catalyst, or one of the catalysts, I should say, for this Mexico City rushing attack. He gains 6 yards out of the quarter break.
Over 100 yards for Bentley officially. Let's say unofficially close to 120. You have to look at who got one of the carries, but Bentley's definitely been this catalyst for the Mexico offense.
Run this time for Morrison, who gets launched backward. Looked like he was near the line to gain, but all of a sudden Cherry comes out of nowhere and sends him backwards, almost back in time.
That's one of the risks that you face against facing that Indy defensive tackling unit of Cherry and Saron Yates. This time Cherry gets to him, and that's a key tackle to force a third down.
3rd and 2. Bentley with the call, has room and gets the first down. Easy as you like. That has been the Mexico City special on full display on 3rd down and short. You give it to the big man who gets you the first down.
And there's just plenty of space for Bentley to work out of the stretch run every time. He doesn't get touched past 2 or 3 yards. So, of course, when they go on a short down situation, you give it to the Hall of Famer.
Pitch play near side. Morrison trying to fend off Jack Russell and cannot. Does pick up 5 yards as they march ever closer to the end zone.
Yeah, I like that play. Instead of doing Morrison on the inside run, they toss him out, see where they can bring you, and he gets an easy 5 out of it.
From the 8-yard line, Sipe changing the play at the line. 8:15 to go in regulation. Handoff. Bentley to the corner. Russell denies the touchdown, but it's 1st and goal Aztecs.
And again, look at how much space that Bentley is given. Indy is just giving him all the space on the outside. I get that they're worried about that inside run, but outside, Bentley has torched him for big yards, and that's a game-saving tackle from Jack Russell to prevent a touchdown. But now Mexico City has 3 chances to get to the end zone.
And the run game, or the run defense, I should say, for the Ramblers has always been a point of contention in the back half ever since joining the league in terms of rush defense, and Morrison trying to find his way. But I should say there's a caveat, except for their first season when they were 12th, but that's because Adam Wiseman's been able to stop them at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and they just have to recognize where that ball's going to, and essentially it's just who's in that backfield. If you see Bentley, he's going to stretch out. If it's Morrison, he's going to go down the middle.
Oh, this time Bentley goes through the middle.
Oh.
The offensive line gets an incredible push, pushing the defensive line deep into the end zone, and that's an easy touchdown for the Aztecs.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Plenty of space to work with for Bentley again on a delayed handoff. You can see the defensive line trying to get around that O-line, but that O-line is stout. They're tough to get. They're tough to break through, and Bentley gets the easy score. That's another 6 on the board, and some breathing room that Mexico City hasn't seen since the second quarter.
Roughly 185 rushing yards in the ball game today for this Aztec offense, and they have run it down the Ramblers' throats, and they're 2 scores up once again for the first time since early on in the third quarter. We are back underway as the Ramblers will have a chance to say what they can do. And you saw it there briefly. The running game just hasn't been there for Indianapolis. Under 50 yards combined with all their backs compared to Mexico City. And frankly, we're probably going to see much less of it as we hit the final stages here in this one.
Yeah, they just got to put their eggs in one basket at this point. The pass game has been efficient enough to get down the field. Let's see if Johnny Pickler can sling that rock.
And off right side. Only minimal gains there as Fowler in on the stop.
Yeah, and Indy has to figure out that this is pretty much desperation point with 7 minutes left, down 2 full scores. They need to start getting down the field and down the field fast.
Wide. Looks like they might go that way. Instead, delayed handoff, but the Aztecs are right there in the running lane. They've seen that play a couple times, and Cyrus is there to make the stop. And 2 plays in about 20 to 30 seconds taken off the clock, partner, and now you have to throw on 3rd and long.
Yeah, third and 9. They're 3 of 8 on 3rd down. They don't want to get in this scenario where it's 3rd and long. They need to convert on this one, and they need to move down the field.
Rob Hunt, the man in motion here on 3rd down. Under 6.5 to go as Pickler will have to work out of a 5-man rush. He rolls up to his right, throws across his body. It is incomplete. That might have hit the hands of an arrow, but he could not haul it in, and it's 4th down.
But again, it's the issue that we've seen from Indianapolis in that last game against Baltimore as well. Drop passes in crucial moments, and De Niro does it again.
And so Indy will rely on their defense as they will punt this one away. Flip to field. The high spiraling punt, fair catch called for by Morrison. And that is where the Aztecs will take over. Week 3 continues tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern in Minnesota, where the legend will try to slow down 2-0 Baltimore, plus Vancouver versus Canton, Queen City, DC, and Bossier City against Denver. It's another doubleheaders, SFL Sunday, right here on SFL YouTube.
Soda!
Oh yeah, you betcha, don't you, Noe? Just over 6 minutes to go. Here from Estadio Matt Wilson, Ray Bentley gets the call and had a couple of block gains 3 yards before he is wrapped up.
Yeah, and Mexico City's goal is probably just to run that ball up Indy's gut, take the clock out of their hands, and force Indy basically in a situation to just go into a strictly passing offense if they do get the ball back.
And we will see the Aztecs are, no, it will not be a run, it's a pass, and they will pay for it dearly as the Ramblers defense stands up in the clutch. An interception by Cole Aye.
And this might have been an ill-advised pass play from Mexico City. You want to dictate the pace of play like you did in the first quarter, and you're throwing that into a sea of white and red, and just like that, Indy's got another chance to get that football just after, 25, 30 seconds of, punting the football away.
My apologies to Melodious Manning there on the interception, and the Ramblers will take over, and that ball is batted, nearly caught by Hunt or Roosevelt, and it would have been the second time we saw a deflection end up right in the hands of the intended target.
Yeah, plenty of defenders in that area too. I think there might have been 3 Mexico City defenders with the hands of the football, including Jeffrey Daggs, who, again, it's the story of Mexico City, is Jeffrey Daggs all over the place. We should call this team the Mexico City Daggses.
The second career interception by Melodious Manning set up this 2nd and 10 with under 6 to go now as Pickler with a good pocket collapsing around him, passes off the shoulder pad of his receiver. Oh my, and another 3rd and long here for Indy.
And I'm not sure that's the guy you want to pass the ball to as well. You don't hear much from that 4th receiver in that set. I'd be looking for Roosevelt on this 3rd down.
Time look out of Mexico City. 3rd and long has not been kind to Indianapolis here today. Pickler with pressure breathing down his neck. He's going to take off and run for it. Slides and holds on to the football crucially for the 1st down. We saw in the last block, partner, a slide by a quarterback and the ball got knocked free. Good job by Pickler to maintain possession.
Yeah, biggest thing when you're getting out of the pocket and scrambling is that you've got to protect that football as best as you can, because you've got pursuant defenders immediately trying to jar that ball loose. Quarterbacks aren't known to have great ball security, but Pickler does his work to get the 1st down.
Now they go to the ground game. With 5 minutes to go here in regulation. Rob Noel, 3 yards.
Yeah, and really Noel has been maybe the only reliable option to move that ball a little bit forward so that they can, drop some nice passing plays on 2nd down. It's maybe the 3rd or 4th time he's gotten 3 yards on 1st down.
2nd and 7. Pickler will throw yet again. He's looking middle. That is caught by the running back, Charlie Baker. And now the Ramblers go into the hurry up.
Yeah, they need to go on the hurry up.
Have they found a place that they like? Pass again, middle, caught by Roosevelt. 1st down again to the 12-yard line. And back to the line they go again.
Yeah, they're getting the right plays done. They don't need to go with these deep plays.
Pickler, end zone, caught!
Wow!
Touchdown, Rob Hunt! Comes out of the pile with the football and the score! And the Ramblers are back to within a score!
Firstly, smart off by the offensive coordinating crew to go with the hurry up with 4.5 minutes left to go. But this play alone, one-on-one between Rob Hunt and Gerard Brody. Hunt handles the football, but Gerard Brody gives them a big push trying to jar that ball loose. Hunt manages to keep the football in his hands, and just like that, Indy's back in the game again.
2nd touchdown of the season for Ryan Roosevelt. That's his 40th of his career, and just like that, Indy is back. A perfectly executed hurry-up offense that leaves him with over 4 minutes to go.
I love this.
But hold on a minute. They're getting aggressive. Here we go. It is not going to go 10 yards. It's going to bounce over everybody. It is hauled in by Manning of Indy, but we're going to have to do it again.
Talk about Felipe the ball. I don't know if the field got a good enough kick out of that to really, give them an opportunity. Now they're going to be pushed a little bit closer. But let's see if they can get the necessary 10 yards out of it.
They're going to try it again. Look away. Hauled in. Down the field. Down the numbers. Here comes the return from Jason Bartley. And Mexico City take back those points.
And this is why I kind of love the idea of an onside kick, because there's always a chance you can recover it. But Bartley, being on the hands team, smart counter from Mexico City to have a speedy receiver with good hands to get that football and kind of, snake his way through that onside kick crew to get the points back.
And so the Aztecs punish the overly optimistic onside kick. And it's back to a 14-point deficit. This will be a deep kick, and that'll be hauled in right at the back of the end zone. And so Indy needs to come out again with another hurry-up offense like they had in the last drive. And we could see a lot of fireworks. There's already here, partner, 62 points scored in this game, well past the over-under set by Jack's data.
Yeah, and I think that Mexico City still wants to, cover the spread.
Roosevelt head over the middle, dragging Max Jackson for 20 yards.
I love
and
this,
they're back
too.
to the line they go. The middle has been working for Johnny Pickler today. You see his numbers, nearly 200 yards in that category alone. Roosevelt on the quick out, tries to spin away from a defender, tackled inbounds after a gain of about 7 yards.
I'm liking this hurry up. They're going right away with that hurry up offense. I love the formation too, trips bunch.
Not wasting any time, pass near side the narrow, incomplete. Couldn't haul it in. The hit laid on him, which is too great for him. Artera there with the lumber.
Yeah, I don't mind that throw to the opposite side as well. They gone right twice on the hurry up. They decided to go left to De Niro's way, and again, in and out of his hands. De Niro needs to get some stickum on those hands.
4 wide again, 3rd and short, one of the easier 3rd down distances for Indy in the ball game today. Hits, try to hit near side, overshoots Ryan Roosevelt. He only need 3 yards, and they're back out with the offense here on 4th.
Yeah, and there's no doubt about it. They feel that they still have the momentum offensively, and, you know, I can't blame them for if you're going on 4th down, even with 3:38 left to go.
4 wide, dime look for the Aztecs. First down keeps the ball game alive. Pickler overshoots again. Looking right side, looking for Xavier Knight. He ain't that quick. Turnover on downs.
He ain't that quick, and he ain't that tall either. You know, Xavier Knight's only 6'1". He's on the shorter side of receivers in this league, but it's well overthrown, and it's back in the hands of Mexico City, who, again, trying to look to take the clock out of Indy's hands and just shed it away. I'm definitely seeing a lot of carries to Ray Bentley in the future here.
You wonder if the adrenaline and the moment got to Pickler there on that drive, as Bentley will take over, gain a yard, and we'll see the Ramblers try and milk off all this clock.
And then that's what they want to do. They're gonna try to get that, first off, need to get that first down so they can get themselves to the 2-minute warning. But they're gonna shed this clock as much as they can. They've got a 2-score lead. It's you know, some people would say the most uncomfortable lead to have is a 2-score lead, but nonetheless, they have the football with 3 to go.
Defense shifts, recognizing this formation as the clock ticks. The 2:55, pitch play, Bentley, left side, out of 1, trying to fight off Wiseman, gains a few more yards. The clock will still roll. If the Ramblers can stop them one more time, they could force a punt and get a free timeout with the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, and then they're gonna have they'll have all 3 timeouts, and they'll have, you know, time to work with. That's the most important thing. If they can get 2 touchdowns in 2 minutes, man, that's going to be a dynamic offense to stop.
Team update from the Motor City as the V8s have not scored an offensive touchdown in 7 quarters. They trail Lexington 27-6, the start of the 4th quarter. Handoff, Morrison hurling his way, but is denied the first down. Crucial tackle from the Rambler defense. It's Jeremiah Menafield, and that brings us to the 2-minute warning. Mexico City will have to punt. Can the Ramblers come back down by 2 scores before time runs out? This is the SFL in week 3. Instead, no. The Aztecs will gamble.
I like this.
One more time.
They got
Delayed
Bentley.
handoff.
Oh!
Denied! At the 39-yard line, a crucial hit by Mac Dre, and the Ramblers will take over on downs.
Man, big gutsy play for Mexico City to try to keep this football and force Indy to use their timeouts, but the defensive line stood tall, broke through the offensive line, and got to Bentley. Indy's got a shot with 1:58 left to go. Pickler's got to stay clean.
And yet another free timeout. It only took 2 seconds off the clock. Ramblers are still in this. Ramblers can still get a touchdown here. They can get 2 if they hurry. Ramblers pass, near side, Roosevelt, first down to midfield. There's your first timeout from Chad Rowland.
I'm not sure if Indy liked the formation after seeing what Mexico City brought defensively. They brought a safety in pursuit. It looked to be maybe it might have been a corner, might have been Merrick Itera coming through, but they wanted to switch the formation, get 4 receivers out.
4 wide receiver look here for the Ramblers. Rollout for Pickler. Across his body into
Wow.
double coverage.
Oh!
Intercepted. Going back the other way. There's an entourage with him, and he tries to get out of the Baker tackle and cannot. A massive interception from Liam Ryan might see the Aztecs take their first home opener victory since season 19.
And it looked at first, I will admit, that I thought Reggio De Niro got the catch. But once I saw Liam Ryan start running the other way, man, big play from Liam Ryan to stop immediately any chances of Indianapolis moving down the field. And now it's just one first down that Mexico City needs to secure win number 2.
There's a run from Bentley. Who goes nowhere. Indy will call their second timeout. And if the result holds here, partner, this will be the first time since season 17 in which the Aztecs start with more than just a 1-0 record. They started 4-0 in season 17. And besides that, they've only had 2 other seasons that have resulted in multiple wins before a loss, which was season 7 and season 9, both when they 5-0, and of course season 9 is when they won it all, their only SFL championship, and that's unfortunate for Indianapolis, for Telemac Scarborough, who has played a phenomenal game.
Yeah, a crucial game that Scarborough has played as well. But Mexico City, they also need this in the super tough South Division as well, when you have teams like Bossier City, Fort Worth, Houston are still tough competitors, even though that week 2 result with Vancouver wasn't what they wanted to see. That's a tough division, that South Division.
Another crucial stat for the Aztecs is when they have won multiple games to begin a season without a loss, they have always made the postseason and have always finished with a winning record. So this is very good news for an Aztecs team that the last 2 seasons just haven't gone their way. 3-9 in season 21, 6-6 last season. They're on an upward trajectory, and it might continue here with a Blackwater field goal to put them up by 17 with 1:27 left to go in regulation.
And they got the field goal basically to seal the deal here. 17 points. It's going to be nigh impossible with the lack of timeouts for Indy to get back in this game. Even with $1:27 left to go, it's very, very tough.
That one is kicked away again, and another fair catch called for by Xavier Knight, and out comes this Indianapolis offense, and unfortunately, it was an untimely interception that has potentially derailed this offensive attack, this potential comeback. And it hasn't been a whole lot of turnovers tonight. Just the one fumble, scoop, and score, and that last interception. Just untimely turnovers, which has doomed their progress. We'll see if they can make anything out of it. The last minute and a half to go, as Pickler will throw over the near side, incomplete.
Yeah, and that's been a little bit of story of this fourth quarter for Indianapolis. Johnny Pickler overthrowing his guys. Another part of that story has been dropped balls as well from key receivers too. We've seen a couple from De Niro. We've seen a few from Roosevelt in the first half. They can turn those dropped balls into catches. We might be seeing a little bit of a closer game at this stage.
Pickler throwing middle, and oh my goodness, Ryan Roosevelt got blown up over the middle. No surprise, that's a pass interference.
Absolutely destroyed. That was a Goldberg-esque spear that we saw to try to stop the ball from 30 there, and we'll see it. Complete dive, and down goes 2 men. That's, oh my goodness. That leaves me speechless.
Joseph Jefferson. We have some Indianapolis Ramblers they're telling us in the booth here. We played all zeros. Well, Jefferson's in the same way, playing all zeros and trying to lay a hit on somebody. Just going to be a little bit more timely with those hits. 1:20 to go. Ramblers now from their own 32. Pickler will throw again. Middle cut. Roosevelt. He's been the star of the show for this offensive attack, and another penalty, and this time it's going to be on Indy again. Not Chad Roland, Johnny Van Man. It's down on the line. He's a cornerstone of that offensive line.
Yeah, and you don't want to see anybody on your offensive line go down, because it opens up possibilities for defenses to kind of break open and get to the quarterback or get to the running back. So hopefully Van Man recovers well.
5 receiver blitz pass. There is a catch by Reggio De Niro, his second one in 7 targets. As the clock ticks closer to a minute as Pickler rolls to his near side, cut De Niro again. 1st and 10 to the 33. Nearly 300 yards passing now by Pickler.
Yeah, and they're moving down the field. Again, they play for pride up to this point as they spike the ball to stop the clock at 52 seconds. But you see a lot of people on the Indy side of the chat. They're saying they're playing for pride up at this stage. But man, you play until all zeros. I like that mentality.
2nd and 10 now after the spike. 52 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. Pickler looking for a corner route, could not find him.
And again, all you have to do at this point is just throw this ball down the field, take as little clock off as possible. I like the idea from Johnny Pickler. He's just got to find his targets.
He's looking for Dane Looker. Now it brings up 3rd and 10. Very calm and down in distance. This Rambler offense today. 5-man rush, Pickler in a coverage, picked away, Liam Ryan again, and he's going back the other way.
House call.
De Niro on his tail, but he is going to put the exclamation point on this home opener with a score as well. Another pick 6 thrown by Pickler this season. Another defensive touchdown here for Mexico City.
Look, I'm not sure if Liam Ryan has ever watched Seinfeld at all, but isn't it like sacrilege to double dip? And that's what he's done here. This time, a little bit of an easier pick from Liam Ryan, and he's got plenty of green on the left side. He takes it and basically breaks this game completely wide open, and they're about to double Indy's score.
And there goes the extra point, and all I hear is a cash register going cha-ching as Mexico City cashing in on multiple interceptions in the ballgame today. And it couldn't have come at a better time here at home in front of the faithful here at Estadio Matt Wilson. They're loving it. They are loving this start to the season. A 2-0 record to begin the season, and next week they will be on the road to take on the Arizona Scorpions, who just walloped Chicago in Chi-Town 35-0 earlier today. That'll be the game next week for the Aztecs. After that, they're back here at Estadio Matt Wilson to take on the Swarm of Atlanta on August 12th. And then from there, it's a whole bunch of home and away games from there, but the start to this season is a good one for Mexico City. That pass from Pickler looking for De Niro, no dice that time.
Yeah, and going back to the cha-ching in that one, Liam Ryan, you've got yourself an extra $350,000 going your way with the incentive bonus coming out. But man, it has been a great game for Mexico City. They're going to come out of this 2-0, and you have to think for sure. Up at this stage, Mexico City's got to be one of those early playoff favorites.
Pickler right side, caught Hunt, and he will go out of bounds. And I would have to agree. I did mention that every time they've had multiple wins to begin a season, they have been to the playoffs every single time, have not missed one in that streak. So, and right now they look strong, partner, as you said. The offense is playing very well. The defense has been up to the task for both of their opening games. And this looks very promising for the Aztecs here in season 23.
Yeah, for the rest of the way, for this week at least, Mexico City only really has to worry about how Bossier City performs against Denver at Denver, which is going to be tomorrow night at 9:15 Eastern. That should be an exciting game to watch. especially if you're Mexico City, try to figure out how Bossier City's going to, figure things out. That is a division rival. You don't play them until week 13, but you still want to have them in that rearview mirror.
And how about these newer teams that have come into the league, partner? Lexington, of course, coming over from Tulsa has been really good for the first couple of weeks here. Lexington, Nashville, surprising LA. We all thought LA would have turned a corner by now. LA now 0-3. Nashville 2-0.
Oh, man.
That's a very surprising start to their season. Pickler, however, completed a pass move that changed and it took a spike. But let's talk about these expansion teams. There's always the Minnesotas that come out of the woodwork and perform, and then you have other teams like the Funk San Diego Mavericks that just didn't really turn into much until later on in their history, and now we're looking at Tenero getting a catch. But what about these newer teams that excite you?
I always had my hat in the Pittsburgh train up to this stage, but great performances from Nashville to start off, as well as Bossier City in their first game.
And that's it. It has gone final at Estadio Matt Wilson. Gana los Aztecas as they come out with the win, 48-24, doubling Indianapolis here today. Brett, your final thoughts as the Aztecs take their first home opener in quite some time.
Yeah, and pretty simple. You can narrow it down to just a few things. First off, the great run game by the Mexico City Crew, led by Ray Bentley, who had over 125 yards in this matchup, completely dominated time possession because of that. Another thing that was big for this Mexico City offense was third down efficiency. We talked about that in the second half. They ended up being 9 of 15 on third down, which is still going to be over that 60% mark, which is what they needed. They ended up being outpaced in total yards, but that's from Indy trying to catch up to things. At the end of the day, 200 yards of rushing from, close to 200 yards of rushing from Mexico City is all the difference that was needed to make this 48-24.
And that'll do it for us tonight. For Justin Rasine and Ramos Lennon Stats, and for my partner Brett Solberg and the Commissioner Cameron Irvine, I've been Tyler Falk. We will see you for more SFL action tomorrow, and of course the Monday Night Spectacular to close out week 3. Until then, folks, it's been fun. We hope to see you then. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Bidoo!